Link eventually apologized after Owen scolded him for interacting with a patient before being given the all-clear to resume work. After all, Link may be the only one who has recently inquired about Owen's well-being, and he values their friendship. Nora, who Owen also ran into, thought he had a nasty case of indigestion instead of more severe chest symptoms. After learning of his breakup with Teddy earlier in the day, Nora sent Owen her condolences and agreed to go over dinner with him. Hey, why shouldn't Owen go on if Teddy can do so before their divorce is finalized? In relation to Teddy, she had to express regret to Cass for giving the impression that she only wanted to visit her in private. Teddy revealed that she's losing control over her life, and those moments in bed with Cass make her feel safe. Instead of ending their connection, Cass proposed that a more public relationship may really help Teddy feel more in control, and she accepted his suggestion. Lucas asked Bailey if he could stay on Katie's care team after he got to know her and helped her locate a clinical cancer trial. You can be sure that she will reappear with the most heartbreaking emotional outburst when she wants a piece of New York cheesecake. Although we're not sure how yet, it will happen. Bailey encouraged Ben to accept 3 more years of residence in order to pursue his ideal job after learning of his keen interest in plastics. Jules' statement that she didn't want to live with her and Quan originally infuriated Simone, but she subsequently clarified that she's a heavy sleeper and that her many noisy alarm clocks have been known to annoy her roommates. She doesn't want to jeopardize her friendship with Simone for the time being. Quan made up for his terrible first impression last week by pretending to have food poisoning during Avery's major surgery, which allowed Kavita, a plastics colleague, to step in. Kavita warmed up to Quan after being accepted into Avery's plastics posse, the greatest honor. We can see he's warming up too because of the flirtatious glance he gave her as she left the room. Welcomed back Dr. Jackson Avery, played by Jesse Williams, who hasn't appeared since season 21. Not everyone was as happy to see Jackson again as we were, of course. The moment he and Meredith crossed paths, they butt heads over Korasik's published paper about his Alzheimer's trials on mice. Since Korosik only tested on male mice, unlike Meredith, he shouldn't have been allowed to release his results so soon. Should anyone mistakenly assume that what works for male mice also works for other mice? Not all mice. Jackson dismissed Mare's worries instead of listening to her, pointing out that she just had one lab and no published results. When his patient, a cancer survivor having breast reconstruction, required another hernia operation before he could resume work later in the day, Jackson's plans were altered. When the patient requested both treatments on the same day, Meredith grudgingly consented to assist, but problems soon ensued. When Meredith heard the woman's desperation and her desire to finally see herself as more than a cancer survivor, she agreed to do both, which infuriated Jackson even more. Jackson had previously stated that it was not possible. When Meredith and Jackson quarreled over the course of action during the duel process, the irking persisted. He said to her, "You made your point, too bad you can't publish that." We were relieved when Jackson later in the episode apologized to Meredith for his inappropriate actions because it was such a stupid move. He acknowledged that Meredith was correct after observing the patient's happiness and even volunteered to drive her back to Boston. Which, for some reason, she accepted. Why? To fight all the time. Just board a plane, lady. That's correct, Meredith is returning to Boston. Richard wasn't shocked. Knowing that she would ultimately be driven back to the lab, he began reassigning her scheduled procedures as soon as he read Korasik's report. Thanks for watching. For more updates stay tuned and don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, please.